A generous donor makes a major investment that will benefit future Shawnee Mission students. Plus, some middle school students get bowled over by their new acquaintances. We'll find out what makes their pen pal program special. The Battle of the Brains celebrates a Shawnee Mission School's idea for a new Science City exhibit. And for a group of fifth graders, a turn around the dance floor is like stepping back in time. It's all ahead on this episode of Spotlight on Shawnee Mission. Welcome to Spotlight on Shawnee Mission. I'm your host, Leanne Neal. Shawnee Mission students will have more resources in the areas of science, technology, engineering, and mathematics, thanks to a generous private donation.
I'm delighted on behalf of my wife and our children to announce that we have provided a gift of $100,000 to support STEM in Shawnee Mission.
As a longtime Shawnee Mission School Board member, Dr. Craig Denny has seen firsthand what a difference a donation like this can make.
Some of you may know I am an engineer by education and training, so we strongly support science and STEM education, and we think this will have a good impact on what our students today and in the future have the opportunity to learn. So thanks for coming.
So this donation of $100,000 for STEM education here in the Shawnee Mission School District will go to the Shawnee Mission Education Foundation. This is a very significant monetary contribution, and certainly we want this to be evident that what's going on in the school district in relation to STEM education is so very important.
The instructor who leads Shawnee Mission's Biotechnology Signature Program is excited about what this donation might mean for her students.
Let me see, an inverted microscope, another biosafety cabinet. We are well equipped, but there are always some things that that we need to go beyond what we have in the laboratory, especially when students start doing independent research. The projects are usually very specific. And we have some old and outdated equipment that maybe needs to be updated.
Bott says the donation will help her keep current and future students up to speed on ever-changing technology.
But to have somebody step up and say that for generations they want to be able to make a difference, no one's going to believe this, but I'm speechless. That's absolutely amazing.
The Shawnee Mission Education Foundation will oversee the Denny Family Science, Technology, Engineering, and Math Fund.
And it can be used to develop curriculum. It can be used to purchase specialized equipment that's not otherwise available. It can be used for professional development. It can be used for students to participate in specialized research that they're interested in.
We exist to connect private financial resources with our schools and empower people to make a difference. And today we want to especially thank Craig and Terry Denny and the entire Denny family for their generous demonstration of the depth that they care for the children of our community, for their commitment to public education, and for choosing to make a difference. Thank you very much.
Denny says, as the father of 3 successful daughters who went through Shawnee Mission schools, his family felt the donation was the right thing to do.
It's a little bit like paying it forward. You know, we've been blessed in all of the things that we've done, and we want to see opportunities for those kids that are coming behind us.
Our thanks to the Denny family for making this strong commitment to Shawnee Mission students. Up next, middle school students from across the district find a new way to connect and make friends.
Hello, I'm Dakota, and I will take you into the world of The Summer of Hammers and Angels by Shannon Wiersbitsky. Deela was once happy until lightning hit her mama. Now she has to fix up the house by herself so she and Mama don't get evicted. When Tommy Parker, who Delia describes as dense as a stump, falls off the roof while trying to help, she is even sadder. She continues working, but the jobs are too big for her. She went to church with the Parkers to pray and ask for help. Are her prayers answered? I know the end, and so can you. Check it out. I give this book 5 out of 5 stars. Read it.
Welcome back. Students usually look forward to field trips, but one that recently brought a group of middle school students together had a different twist. For the first time, these students would be meeting their pen pals face to face. With bowling as a backdrop, these students had an opportunity for a little fun and friendship.
These are kids that are with the same group of students all day through every day of the school year. So this opens up their opportunities for friendship. So we wanted to be able to give them an opportunity to find a friend outside of their environment, and then also to work on social skills that their other person, their pen pal, would also need to work on.
1, 2, 3. There we go.
Trail Ridge instructor Stacy Smith came up with the idea, then got the other middle schools on board. 45 students from across the district are part of the Pen Pal program. Smith says it's exciting to see the students' reactions as they meet.
They're jumping up and down. As soon as they walked in, they were asking for their first name of their pen pal. They couldn't wait to meet him. They sat down immediately at the table. It was an exciting moment for everybody.
I think it's a good way to make lifelong friends, because one of the little gals just introduced me. Let me introduce you to my new best friend. And just kind of a fun time to make some good friends for life.
Yes, it's kind of fun.
Why is it fun?
Because we can respond back to you.
It's good and fun and nice.
It's nice to give back to people who need help. You don't want to be that person that doesn't want to help anyone. So it's really fun to help her.
While the students are enjoying the experience, Smith says the middle school teachers are reaping benefits as well.
And it has helped us come together as a group and say, okay, what's working in your classroom? Oh, you got to try this. We email each other. We were just excited to be here together so we could see how all of our kids are working together. It's been a really, really good reach out program for the adults and the students.
Pen pals Janelle and Jaleesa quickly bonded during their first face-to-face.
We've really been bowling. We talk about how our days are going. Yeah, like mine was good and hers was good.
This allows us to help them work on the social area when they're writing the letter. What kind of things would you want to ask a friend? What expectations do you have of a friend? That type of thing. And at the same time, we're clearly working on grammar, working on writing skills.
Each read a letter they had received. First, Janelle shared her letter from Jaleesa.
All of us are going bowling in November. I feel happy. I like chocolate cake too. Are you going to bowl? See you soon. Jaleesa.
Next, Jaleesa shared part of a letter written by Janelle.
I hope you could meet me soon. My favorite One Direction person is hurt. So what is your favorite One Direction person? From Janelle.
The girls have become fast friends.
Well, because I like her. She's like the nicest person I've ever met. And she's very sweet to me. She's not mean to me, and she's very nice. And she's very cool to hang out with.
Smith says the Pen Pal program has been such a success that the teachers are planning monthly get-togethers to help facilitate the friendships that are forming. Can you imagine coming up with a new exhibit for Union Station Science City? Some creative Shawnee Mission students did, and it landed them in the top 10. Their story straight ahead. Plus, middle school students get busy learning what it takes to run a philanthropy when Spotlight on Shawnee Mission returns. Welcome back. What exhibit would you add to Union Station Science City? That's the question creative students across the metro tried to answer in the Battle of the Brains. For one Shawnee Mission team, the competition ended up being quite a ride.
All right, ready? Everybody look over here. Big smiles.
The team from Crestview Elementary proposed an exhibit called Recycle City, with sections such as a compost cafe and recycling machine. Jordan describes a walk through the exhibit.
They would see Josephine's idea, the big water bottle. They would see my idea about recycling machine. Again, it's this recycling bucket, and you just lift it open. And there's this little bucket aside here that you get to pick your own items. And you put it in there, and then it basically pops up with these videos. And those videos show how it's going to be recycled.
After submitting their idea, the team knew something was up when Battle of the Brains organizers asked to visit their school. Maybe their hard work had paid off.
I was so surprised. We put a lot of work into this submission because we only had 7 weeks to do this.
The good news, Crestview's idea for Recycle City was among 20 finalists overall and one of the top 10 in the elementary division.
There's 500 people that basically joined in here, and I was so surprised that we got in top 10, and it happened so quickly because we just submitted it like a week ago, and then it's already happened, and it's happening so fast, and it's starting to just catch up with me.
Judges called Crestview's Recycle City a great idea with appealing interactive exhibits. But there was something more that made it a standout.
We just thought, the kids were excited about it, and it really showed through in the written part of their project. And we thought, hey, kids might be interested in doing this. This could be a possible exhibit over at Science City.
After the presentation was over, news crews wanted a chance to interview these students about their new honor and Science City exhibit idea. Like many news celebrities, these students found all the attention a little overwhelming.
I was shocked. I didn't know really how to react. That's why I was I didn't really say anything because, I didn't know we were going to be interviewed, and it was just a shock to me, and I think to my teacher and Mr. Bartel.
Principal John Bartel says he'd been telling his team that their idea was a winner.
When they started, so I think they were fairly confident. And so when they came in and they said, oh, congratulations, they've been hearing, oh, you have a winning idea for a while. But just affirming that and then letting them know, okay, this is a bigger deal than maybe even Mr. Bartel's talked about. And it finally started to sink in. I think they're pretty excited about it.
Welcome to Union Station and what I'd like to refer to today as the Super Bowl of Science. Is science amazing? You love science? And you love Union Station? That's what I want to hear.
The team's success also meant an invitation to a giant celebration at Union Station with the other finalists, and Crestview was in good company.
501 entries, 193 schools, 3,500 students. With numbers like that, do not forget that to be one of the top 20 is an incredible accomplishment. Everybody, let's hear it for our kids.
When we started Battle of the Brains, it was with the idea of taking a program into schools so all students, elementary through high school, regardless of age, could realize what science, technology, engineering, and math looked like in the real world.
The first $2,500 winner in the elementary school category is Crestview Elementary School, Recycle City!
In the end, Recycle City would not go on to become Science City's next exhibit, but the Crestview students did win a $2,500 grant for their school and praise from their principal.
Absolutely proud of my kids. The work that they put in, they were excited when we made the top 10 for elementary, and they've been talking about it nonstop. They've been trying to get the word out about voting, and it's been a very exciting, new and they really just bought into it. It was awesome.
Battle of the Brains was sponsored by the Burns and McDonnell Foundation and Science City with the goal of sparking interest among students in science, technology, engineering, and mathematics. Philanthropy, fundraising, and foundations may be foreign concepts to many middle school students, but a group at Indian Hills not only understands these, they get a chance to experience them.
Some of the organizations that we support.
Before the school day begins, the Indian Hills Junior Board is already at work, learning about advertising agency VML and its charitable foundation.
And I have to tell you, that's absolutely the most fun part of my job, is to help VMLers connect with those organizations and worthy causes that they're passionate about. And that's
Guest speakers help junior board members in their mission to learn the ins and outs of not-for-profit organizations.
Finding out not only what they do, but who they serve and how they do it. Financially, how they survive, where does the money go, how do they raise money, to find out the nuts and bolts of a nonprofit agency.
It's been really cool. I like hearing about what it's like kind of behind the scenes on what actually goes on in a nonprofit organization.
Well, I thought it was really cool at the VML, how they built the car for the mine drive. I thought that was really interesting.
To get attention for the car to get to Washington, D.C., we actually changed the motor of the car from being a gas-powered, completely gas-powered motor to a motor that was going to be electric and powered by social media.
For most students, the first step involves learning a new language.
They need to learn a lot of new vocabulary words. They have to understand what executive directors and board members and foundations are, and it's a little dry in the beginning, but it's essential.
First of all, we were talking about how impressive it is that you're in this group, that there is this group, but that you've chosen to be part of it. So congratulations on doing this.
Speakers from businesses and not-for-profit organizations share their insights with the students.
They absolutely love getting out of their office, coming and talking to kids, and really preparing them to maybe someday work for a nonprofit, or like I said, work for a for-profit corporation that does spend a good portion of their time and energy and resources giving back.
After members of the junior board have learned the basics, it's time to get out and see a nonprofit in action.
Eventually, they pick one, and they'll work as a team, and they'll have to be looking at this nonprofit very, very critically, evaluating their budgets, learning about where they fundraise from, how they raise their money. So the critical thinking that is required in this program, and then the presentation skills are incredible.
These studies also give students a better understanding of how nonprofits help out.
A lot of families around Kansas City are really in need, so they need a lot of help, and all these nonprofit organizations help them.
When the students start their visit to the nonprofits, that's when it really kind of clicks in about why they're doing junior board. And here at Indian Hills, for the first year, the students are incredibly bright, inquisitive, and really have shown an interest to learn about nonprofits and the whole world of philanthropy.
Well, I'm really looking forward to basically just helping nonprofit organizations just to help, I guess.
Hey, yeah, good to see you, Luke.
At the end of the year, the students' in-depth presentations on 6 nonprofit organizations will be judged. The highest scoring group will receive the largest amount of money to help their organization. Up next, 5th graders get a special opportunity to live their history lessons.
Mia, and I read the book Moon Over Manifest by Claire Vanderpool. It is 1936, and Abeline's father just got a new job working on the railroad. But Abeline can't help but feel abandoned when her father sends her on a train straight to Manifest, Kansas, his hometown, to live with an old friend. When Abilene steps off the train, she sees a sign that her father had told her about. Manifest, a town with a rich past and a bright future. But she is disappointed to find that all that is left is Manifest, a town with a past. Abilene tries to make the best of her situation and quickly makes 2 new friends. But when she's trying to find out more about her father's past, she finds a box of trinkets and letters and starts to reveal a different mystery about a so-called spy, the Rattler. Will Abilene listen to the warnings to stop snooping around in the Rattler's business? Is her life in danger? Will she ever piece together the mystery of the Old Town Manifest? Read Moon Over Manifest to find out. I rate this book 5 out of 5 stars because it never failed to excite me. Check it out today.
Welcome back. Corinth Elementary has a special way to celebrate 5th graders. For a day, they get to step back in history and experience life in colonial times.
Colonial Day is something 5th graders at Corinth Elementary do. We act like we're colonial people, pilgrims, Indians all day. We do dances, we have food, and we play crafts and games like the colonial people would.
Colonial Day is a day we use to celebrate completing our research on the colonial time period. So after studying this time period, we dress up like they would have back then, and we bring the time period to life so the students can learn.
Well, we did 3 dances called Virginia Reel, Haste the Wedding, and a square dance. And they were pretty fun, and we got to pick our partners and learn how they danced.
Well, they're looking for food, but why might the hide be the best at that time of year?
We started our day this morning with a presentation about how they would have used animal hides.
I offered to be the guest speaker, and I brought in a hobby that I have picked up in the last 2 years that involves tanning hides or tanning animal skins. There were lots of good questions and a few crinkled noses when I talked about some of the steps in the process, and in general, I think they were really relating to what was going on a couple of 100 years ago and how people had to live.
I think the dressing up part's pretty fun because you get to find out what they look like and wear stuff, and that's different from what you do today.
It was difficult, but they had fun stuff like games and stuff, and they didn't know, like, it was difficult back then, I guess.
For a moment, I want you just to think. What if this was the only butter you had? What if you had to churn and churn and churn? Think about how long it takes for just this amount of cream to turn the butter. It should take almost 10 minutes of shaking. And you just go like this, and you go like this, and you go like this.
They ate a lot of different foods than we do now. Like, they don't go to the store and buy crackers or Cheez-Its. They didn't go to the grocery store. They bought it, they either killed it or they bought, like, traded stuff or bought it.
The food that the colonial people have, first of all, is very different than what we have every day. They had to hand make most of their food, and they had to hunt it by themselves.
Do you need your help with your needle? We bring the time period to life so the students can learn what life would have been like by doing crafts. We learn to sew and dip candles. And as they do that, they get to learn just kind of how hard life would have been back then. But for the most part, they really just enjoy a fun day to do things outside of the classroom and outside of the books. And we really owe a lot of thanks to all the parent volunteers we have here at Corinth, because we wouldn't be able to do it without them.
I think it is an amazing program. I know other schools that don't do this, and my kids learn so much more from immersion. So, you know, putting on the clothes and eating the food, I think you can learn so much more than just reading a book or cruising the internet, you know, trying to get information like that. So the fact that we have this at Corinth, I think, is a huge benefit to my kids.
And I think I've learned a lot more than I would have known about. I really knew they went on the Mayflower and came to America. And now I know a lot more.
I've also learned that they do a lot of dancing during their time, and they
dancing was kind of their plaything. And for toys, they didn't have very many toys. They just played with marbles and stuff. And you wouldn't take spelling tests, you would take spelling bees where you would spell your letters out loud.
Alex, your word is fangs.
It shows that we have so much more than they did later, and we're very gifted to have all that.
It looks like cheese. I know.
The kids always really look forward to this day. It's become a Corinth tradition, and they see each year the students come to 5th grade dressed in their costumes, and it's a day that I think they really look forward to and a day they remember forever.
What a great opportunity for these students to really get hands-on with history. That's all the time we have for this episode of Spotlight on Shawnee Mission. Join us again as we continue to feature the programs and people of Shawnee Mission who are helping guide students to success. Thank you for watching.